It was really, really bad. The tanker truck had turned over. I was standing right there videotaping the fire. I could feel the heat from the fire. I didn't smell anything, but the heat was really intense. A lot of people was around. A lot of people was crying and praying because we didn't know if the guy made it or not. But later on, we found out that he passed away. It's a sad feeling. It's teary-eyed thinking about it. Knowing that somebody was still in that truck at that time. It's hard to imagine what that person went through. For me to stand out and watch it, it was very, very heartbreaking. It really was, and it still is. Just watching it, it's heartbreaking.
And you just heard firsthand account of that breaking news tonight on DC News Now at 10. A deadly explosion in Frederick, Maryland that left one person dead, an entire community shaken. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I am Tosin Fakile. The investigation continues tonight into a deadly tanker explosion in Frederick. Now we're going to show you video that was sent to DC News Now. There's huge flames and black smoke that came from an overturned tanker. Several homes and cars were damaged in various degrees from that fire. The unidentified driver died after the crash into a tree along portions of northbound as US 15. We've had team coverage all day and even tonight, and that kicks off with our Dave Laval, who's been on the scene for several hours. He saw what was left of that tanker, talked to those who live in the area. Here's what Dave has to say.
Home security footage captured the explosion that happened around noon Saturday along northbound 15 in Frederick. Velmut Sisson and her husband Bob live on the other side of Highway 15. They captured video just after the blast, which scared them a bit.
I was waiting for another explosion, quite frankly. I don't think I want to be standing in front of the house when you've got flames like that. So, we went back inside and huddled in the back, and it just kept getting worse and worse, and it was just amazing.
A preliminary investigation found 6 homes and 5 cars suffered damage from the flames. Many of those incidents got started, according to Frederick County Fire and Rescue Services, by strong winds that spread the flames.
We see these enormous black clouds billowing in 2 different areas. We saw it in north of us, and then south of us. It's like, oh my gosh, there's just a wall of black coming up.
There's been no word if anyone home at the time of the explosion suffered any injuries.
And that was our Dave Laval reporting, who had been on the ground seeing all of the damage left behind. Our continuing coverage continues with Anae Simmons, who's also in Frederick. She talked to some people who saw those flames and that community shaken up after all this.
It was quite a scary day for the people of the city of Frederick. Black smoke covered the area as first responders arrived to a tanker truck that hit a tree and caused an explosion. George Cano, who lives in the area, says he had to wear a mask because of all the smoke around him.
I look up in the air. I was about ready to walk an errand up to 7th Street, and I saw this black smoke, and I said, well, that's moving very quickly. That's a fire.
One part of this house on Apple Avenue completely burned. Officials say the family inside the house was displaced, cars burnt. Vera Bearfield says she witnessed the whole accident.
It's hard to imagine what that person went through. For me to stand out and watch it, it was very, very heartbreaking. It really was, and it still is. Just watching it, it's heartbreaking.
Now, Frederick officials saying tonight there is no risk to the public with the foam that was used to stop that fire that went into Carroll Creek. We'll continue to have team coverage of this deadly incident again for you at 10:30. But new tonight, a Montgomery County man is looking for answers after a man broke into his house recently. Most disturbing, not only that person steal things, but that person was lounging around using the man's toothbrush, razor, and shower. And tonight, our Daniel Hamburg took a trip to the man's Germantown home to take a look at what's missing.
There's a lot of crime in Germantown, a lot. It didn't used to be like this.
Roger Moran didn't expect to be the victim of a home burglary, but when he came home last month, he noticed things missing and out of place.
And these taller items were put here and the window was closed. I'm thinking that's strange because I didn't do that. And I turned around and the window air conditioner that usually is in this window was on the floor.
In his bedroom, he had watches, hunting knives, and clothing missing.
He hung out in the bed, and over there was littered with Coca-Cola cans, bottled water, protein shakes, energy drinks. You know, there was like 6 of them. So he'd been here for some time.
In his bed, when police got there, he found a man's underwear and coat in a heap.
He lit some candles as he relaxed in my bed.
Probably the grossest part of this burglary happened back here in the bathroom. Moran says the man likely came in here, used his toothbrush because he found it right here on the soap dish. He found a hairbrush in there, long black hair in the drain, and over here he found whiskers and shaving cream in the sink. Not to mention that the toilet was not flushed.
Moran says police were able to get some good fingerprints around the house.
We all agree he was probably homeless. He's probably transient, moving from here to there, and he went from here, and he was, you know, seen down in Rockville, so maybe he's moving in that direction.
Rockville is where police found his laptop behind a dumpster and hunting knives in the bag. But one thing he's most upset about is one of his high-end bicycles that was stolen.
I ride in the Great Cycle Challenge, which is to raise money for childhood cancer. And that's what the bike was for, you know. It was the bike that I rode hundreds of miles on.
In all, the burglar got away with $10,000 to $12,000 worth of things.
The things he stole were material things, you know. I didn't get hurt. None of my loved ones, you know, my girlfriend didn't come over in the middle of the day and find him here and have him hit her on the head with a baseball bat.
While he counts himself lucky no one was hurt, he's still wondering who did this and why. In Germantown, Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
Over to Arlington, where some not so good news for that area. Amazon announced it is pausing construction of its highly anticipated headquarters there. The news also comes after the company's biggest round of layoffs ever. The online retail giant saying they are committed to Arlington. Our Leonard N. Fleming spoke to county government officials and has the latest.
It's important to note that from the very beginning, this was always expected to be a multi-year project, and we expect that this will continue to be a long-term commitment that Amazon has to the Commonwealth of Virginia and Arlington County specifically.
Christian Dorsey is the Arlington County Board Chairman, who spoke today about Amazon's decision to scale back its construction to expand a second headquarters in Arlington called Penn Place. Amazon made national news today with the announcement that it is hitting the pause button on construction given uncertain financial times.
We are quite confident that Amazon remains committed to the second phase of its HQ2 project, otherwise known as Penn Place, a project that was entitled in April of last year.
Phase 1 of HQ2, titled Met Park, is slated to open in June and will bring 8,000 workers to the region. The other project that's now halted is just an empty lot not far from the new sprawling sister space, not even 2 blocks away. Dorsey says he's not concerned about Amazon abandoning its commitments, but he does understand its financial pullback due to an uncertain economy.
Every conversation that I've had with Amazon, what has been unwaveringly clear is their commitment to growing their corporate presence through HQ2 in Arlington, Virginia.
Some people in the area have concerns.
Yeah, I know the state's given them a lot of incentives, and you know, I'm not sure that Amazon is fully delivered on that.
Dorsey admits there could be financial uncertainty, but that the second phase will ultimately be completed.
The only scenario that I could envision that would cause me to actually have concern would be an economic catastrophe that befalls the country, the likes of which I'm not going to predict, and I'm not going to go into that headspace of fearing.
There is no timeline yet on when Amazon will bring back this project, but county officials told us today that they expect it to hopefully be sometime next year. Reporting in Arlington, Leonard N. Fleming, DC News Now, back to you.